The other drugs are covered by the Controlled Substances Act. According to this federal law, some substances cannot be purchased by anyone, while others can be used if they are a prescription from a doctor. I'm done, dude. There are different schedules that are based on the danger of abuse and the medical use. These are described in what follows. The drugs can be purchased and possessed only with an appropriate license from the Drug Administration or prescription from a physician. Drugs in this class have no currently accepted medical use in the United States. A lack of accepted safe for use under medical presence and a high potential for abuse. They cannot be purchased or possessed by anyone. Some of the drugs in this category are all forms of marijuana, hydrostatic heroin, all certain related. I already told them I don't want to go online. They can be possessed for research purchase with an appropriate license. Substances to schedule have I have synchronicity with the fashion youth fan of fashion show. The use or habit of abuse may lead to severe or physical dependence. It includes many opiates such as methadone, morphine, opium, oxycodone, methamphetamine, codeine. Some sedatives like prenatal stimulants are used clinically, including amphetamine, methamphetamines, and methamphetamine. Substances schedule potential for abuse less than substances schedule 1 or 2. And abuse may lead to moderate or low dependence on high psychological dependence. Drugs in this class include combination products containing some opiates like hydrocodone with amphetamine, and informative with noxine, which is used to treat opiate addiction, the anesthetic ketamine, and testosterone. Substances have a low potential for abuse related to substances, and Schedule 3 drugs in this category include benzodiazepines, substances have a low potential for abuse relative to substances in Schedule 4 and consist primarily of preparations containing limited quantities of certain narcotics. This list is not comprehensive. Fashion youth of the Guardian Guild the pioneer of the Zachary, dude. A law enforcement officer will search for just about anyone who I forgot, dude. Eventually the courts could decide whether the search was legal, but if an officer has a reason to believe it with Lila Love, who's the other one, dude? I didn't say I wanted her, dude. I wanted with the Heartbreak Hotel, dude. Versus the expectation of privacy expression. A man's home is his castle. Applies here to search a residence usually requires more stringent legal progress. We have a fashion youth fashion show. A search warrant is signed by a judge is required unless there is evidence of a major and immediate threat to public safety. Next is the automobile. This is the place where most individuals will escape from the law. An officer will see a tragic traffic violation in progress, stop the vehicle, then become the subject that illegal activity is being carried out. If an officer reasonably believes that a crime is being committed, then he probably has the right to detain the occupants of the car until a legal proper investigation can be carried out. Remember, this officer can stop and hold someone if he believes that a crime is being committed, even if he is wrong. A court official gave us an extreme example. Say a murder has been committed in the course of a bank robbery and the killer is driving away in a 2007 blue Ford sedan. In the heat of the moment, an incompetent 911 operator becomes confused and broadcasts that the killer is killing the scene in a 2003 red pickup truck. An officer down the road sees a 2003 red pickup truck and stops it, removes the occupants, and searches the truck for weapons. He finds illegal substances. For example, there's a current public controversy because the federal laws are terribly tough for possession of even a few a gram of cocaine, but one would have to possess much more powdered cocaine to receive the same punishment. Anyone who contemplates drug use should understand the severity of the penalties that various levels of drug possession invoke. Now they can make the charge without stating the amount of drugs, so the penalties are more consistent between crack and powdered cocaine. The problem is that this is an executive decision can be reversed in any case, at any time. The actual law regarding possession and distribution of these drugs has not been changed. Most people that know that conviction for selling drugs results in stiffer penalties than for possession. What they don't know is that simply possessing certain amounts of drug can be considered an intent to distribute, and this may suggest a person with much stiffer distribution penalties. Moreover, money may not change it. Another obscure criminal area is conspiracy drug cases. There are many convictions for a conspiracy to commit a crime because they very often deal with a drug. Well, it's much more than the simple transfer of money and drugs. The conspiracy laws are broad and powerful, and even people proposed to the planning of crime who may have participated in the crime itself are often charged under these laws, sometimes in the hopes they will cooperate with the court officials to convict others. Anyone hanging around individuals involved in drug possession and distribution should be aware of the risk of being charged with conspiracy for seemingly innocent acts, such as lending a boyfriend a car, cashing a check, or relying on a friend who is a dealer to use a telephone call. You can prove these things are wrong. From the standpoint of law enforcement, drug dealing is considered a business. It is legal and just as different people play different roles and different levels of importance. In general, being around drug dealing is very legally very risky. Finally, there's the issue of the confiscation of property. Most of us here have heard about auctions where the property of drug dealers is sold. This happens because of forfeiture laws that allow property used in drug dealing to be confused and sold by the government. Most people live in not get caught. Teenagers pick it up feeling they're beyond the law. But this does happen. It happens. Grandmother's teenager loves stuff. There's a lot of worried people on the face of the earth. Many drug arrests come from the most random events imaginable. In Virginia, an officer stopped a car and some hanging off in the rearview mirror. He became suspicious, legally searched the car and found major quantities of cocaine. Before another drug transporter thought he had the perfect scheme and filled fruit juice cans of cocaine. Yeah, dance in the moonlight. And then he had the perfect scheme filled and then rescaled. Yeah. And as a regular browser for tourists to bring back food from vacation, eat it, go to the Caribbean. And he expected to walk through customs like that? I don't think so. Not with a hot dog in your mouth. You chihuahua boo boo. Dog at the fog light. You can see it. Yeah. Whoa. See you later, Alexa McCrae, dude. You just hot dogging it all night long, man. Going way wet and wild, dude. Just hot dog. There is hot dog, dude. I got a little Robert Robb eye, dude. Even grandmothers are not immune to arrest. DEA agents working on a bus station in North Carolina. An elderly woman behaving oddly when they approached her. She moved her and they became suspicious. They conducted a legal search and found a large quantity. This is a funny show. There's a quantity of cocaine in her luggage. I'm not even paying attention. In college, she came back to find the place crawling with campus and city police. While she had absolutely no role in any illegal activity, a friend of her roommate had to come to town from another college with a shipment of drugs. It's surely Monica likes a crying life. Lila Love, Athena, dude, Jamie Page, yeah. And Stacey Sarah, dude, and Jessica Lynn, dude, and Maggie O'Brien. The Son of Love, Marley Briggs, Alex Choi, Justin Hogan, Jessica Kristen, and Caprico and Megan Ryan. A small recreational amount of heroin could result in either a modest sentence or a huge fine. Prison term, depending on the exact circumstances, are overseeing the case. The Son of Love, Marley Briggs, Optimus Prime, Peter the Overdeck, Drove. Guy is in Puerto Rico. And that's your wife, and you don't know you're kissing a boy, dude. That means the once an individual was convicted of some drug, and I remember the trog, trying to do the trog, was totally tapped, and Isaac Black, dude. I got a radio. Trivia, dude. No matter what the circumstances, couple the fact that there's no parole in the federal system and increasingly in the state system of conviction, with Christina Amoretti can mean long-term prison term even if the prosecutor and judge wish it were otherwise. Here's an example of how things can go terribly wrong or as consequences of alcohol, a prescription drug, and harsh laws. One of us testifies and an expert in legal cases, and a recent one illustrates how the law, the prosecutor, and the courts can interact to ruin the life of an individual. A man was at a party with his neighbor outside his home. He consumed a modest amount of alcohol throughout the evening, but as somebody decided to go to bed and took his nightly medicine, which included the sleeping pill Zolpidem, generic for Ambien. Before going to bed, he came back to the party, but soon appeared intoxicated.